Welcome! Nice to have you along on the journey. My name is Amanta Scott, for those of you who don't know. I'm a Canadian artist working on an interactive art installation and social engagement project entitled Eyeing Medusa, celebrating wise and/or willful women making a difference in the world today, and exploring how the way we see women depicted in art relates to problems in today's society and facilitating change. Eyeing Medusa encompasses encaustic paintings, interactive sculpture installations, and online resources. You'll find lots of information here in my videos as I pull it all together, and also on my website, which is a little bit more comprehensive, amantascott.com. Remember, it's Amanta with a T. Now, you may be wondering about the meaning of the title Eyeing Medusa. First of all, who is Medusa? You may think you know who she is. You may know Medusa as the terrifying woman with snakes for hair, whose sheer rage can turn a person to stone just for looking at her. Why do you think she's like that? What made Medusa so angry? Initially, Medusa was stunningly gorgeous, far prettier than her other two sisters, who apparently were real monsters. They say Medusa's pretty face and long, beautiful hair got the eyes of a lot of men. Something must have happened. Now, it's important to recognize that for Medusa, as a priestess in the Temple of Athena, following a spiritual path is one of her most important core values. This matters to her. To be appointed a priestess in Athena's temple is to be chosen for a position of great responsibility. Respected and honored by the community for clear insight and wisdom, a priestess is consulted on spiritual and political matters and acknowledged as a source of cultural wisdom and authority. So what happened? The story goes that one day Medusa was helping out in the Temple of Athena. Maybe she was setting up the altar, or practicing some music, or just saying her prayers. Maybe she was a kid in residential school. She glanced up and found the priest right there, staring at her, and he was way too close. She tried to leave, but he was blocking the entrance. Poseidon, god of the sea, or the priest, pounced on her and raped her right then and there on the steps of the temple. Being raped is bad enough. Being violated by someone in a position of power really messes you up. Who's gonna listen or believe you? How long has it taken us to hear the voices of the residential school survivors or the children of the 60s scoop? So Athena is furious. What happened to Medusa is inconsequential. The fact is, Athena's sacred temple has been desecrated. People's priorities are strange. One day, I was practicing the pipe organ in a beautiful church, and a young man called up to me asking for one of the nuns. I said I didn't know where she was. Later, as I was leaving, I encountered the same man with his pants around his knees and his hands extremely busy beside a statue of the Virgin Mary. I ran out the door and by fluke bumped into the priest. I told him what I'd seen. "What do you want me to do about it?" he asked. I was flustered. I said, "I don't know, it just didn't seem appropriate," and I was concerned about the nun he was asking for. Do you know what he asked me? Did he finish? So, no, I don't think anyone cared what happened to Medusa or how she was feeling, just as for years no one has cared what happened to First Nations people. With Medusa, they said she must have led him on somehow. Men were always flirting with her. Another rumor was that she might have been foolish enough to think that she was more beautiful than Athena. Well, not anymore, that's for sure. Athena transforms Medusa into a hideous Gorgon monster with piercing eyes, and her long, beautiful hair morphs into a coil of writhing serpents. Have you ever seen a homeless person with nice hair? Think about it. If you're a kid and you've been violated by someone in a position of authority, where do you go? Maybe you take to the streets, and after a time, you don't look so hot. You probably start looking pretty rough. How many people on the streets, in juvenile detention centers or prisons, are there because of behaviors or actions stemming from the untreated emotional trauma from some sort of abuse? Now, the mere sight of Medusa is sufficient to turn a man to stone. Well, that's what you get when you blame the victim. How often is your heart turned to stone as you walk past a street person? Why is Medusa filled with such rage and grief? Because she was not consulted. Because she was not given the chance to say yes or no. The violation and rape of a priestess is the violation and rape of all a community holds sacred. Medusa is then exiled, banished to a reservation, or sent to a remote island at the end of the earth, where the only ones who come to visit her will be the men who want to kill her. One day, Perseus, one of the greatest Greek heroes, is sent on a mission to bring back the head of Medusa to the king. Kind of like General William T. Sherman sent to kill all the buffalo and the Cree who depended on them. Either way, equipped with winged sandals, a special sack for her head, and a shield, and maybe some poisoned blankets just in case, Perseus, or whoever it was, creeps up on her when she's asleep, like Hannah Dusted. Using Athena's shield as a mirror so as to avoid looking at Medusa directly, Perseus chops off her head. In other versions of the story, a sleeping family gets scalped. The only way to conquer Medusa is to reflect on her by way of a mirror. Think about this. We can only confront our demons if we reflect on ourselves first. Issues don't go away just because we cut them down. From the blood that spurted from Medusa's neck sprang Chrysaor and Pegasus, her two sons. Her severed head, which retained the power of turning to stone all who looked upon it, was given to Athena, who placed it on her shield. What have we done as a country? What are we doing, and where are we going? If we believe in any possibility for reconciliation and healing, I think we have to face some awful truths, and we have to reflect on and face our demons. One of the kindest men I ever met survived relocation, residential school, and being raped in jail. He was a beautiful soul. Thanks for taking the time to be here today. It means a lot to me. I hope this has given you some food for thought. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Oh, before you go, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up below, because it matters to me. And please feel free to post your comments as well, because I'm very interested to know how this hits you. Also, if you'd like to be notified whenever I post a new video, please click the subscribe button below and you'll find out. Okay, cheers. See you soon.